Well, and I talked to Yasi about it, I guess. Y'all been in this pattern of real fights the first day and then sweeps the second day. Is that something, I mean, obviously, and particularly in some of the early ones, it was maybe learning more about that team and just having a better strategy the second day. But how do you maybe kind of get off to a better start the first day?
We got to find a way to personalize it a lot more. We talk about trying to do certain things until we can't do it wrong, and we can do it right, obviously sometimes, but it's just a consistency. I think you get that in how you train in the gym, and I think there's some mental fatigue for everybody across the league, and we're not sleeping and getting good rest, and travel's harder and different with some of these regulations and things that we're working through. So got to be resilient and adapt. But no, it's been frustrating. If I really knew the answer, we'd not be doing it anymore. TCU, we came out and it was boom boom
Right.
on both of them. And then honestly, Oklahoma that was a boom boom, and then we just let off the gas and let them back into it, and then we put all three sets together the next day. For Tech, you do got to win ugly sometimes, and we played bad that first set and just gave them hope. So I think teams know we're vulnerable. We're a Final Four team, so we're getting their best more often, I think, than what we've had maybe in the past few years. Where obviously, years 2, 3, maybe sneak up on them, and then year 4, just we climb through. But now teams, are I think when we give them hope, they play pretty free, and it turns into a battle. So the joy is to hopefully have Iowa State feel hopeless in their ability to score points. But if we serve out and we give them all the points, that doesn't put the pressure on them.
Obviously, Yasi and Lachey, both players of the week this past week. For Yasi, have you seen her maybe in the last couple of weeks getting closer to that 2019 form? Is she still a ways off, or?
She's getting closer. I think she's still a ways off, but once she arrives there, she'll pass it. I think it's a it's Callie knowing how to use her a little bit too. Like we talk about perfect decisions off perfect passes, and last year it was perfect pass set Yasi because teams were respecting Shelly in the middle and different things, and Yas would terminate. Now we got other hitters that are doing well. Kara in the middle, Marika at times can be good. Lauren's good. So Yassi's maybe not always the first choice, but if we don't pay attention, then we realize that she's only getting the junk balls and not maybe some of the in-system ones as much. So they again, Callie moves, and that's what I love about Callie is moving the ball around a little bit more. The back row connection is been growing in rhythm. I think that's really been the difference. Callie not used to maybe setting the back row as much as we've asked Hannah to do over the 3 years. Being a team and program that probably sets it more than anybody in the country. That's that phase of the game is not. Yassi's attempts out of the back row have not been as high as what we saw last year, in combination with her not being quite as healthy. So get her healthy and get those reps going, we'll be pretty good.
And then with Lachey, has hers been kind of a gradual build, or did she make a big step up last week, or what did you see from her?
We were a little frustrated with how we've been blocking, so we did move some middles around a little bit, and just to shake things up, and with blocking being the emphasis, and she's competitive, and I think she's had some knee challenges. We didn't start her at Kansas, so there's been a fight in the middle. So to her credit, she really rose to the top. And the Texas mat, everybody, Bree played some as well. So we're she has it. Blocking. We knew she'd bring to the table. Try and get a little bit more offense, but she's passionate about it. She wants to do it. She personalizes it. So
Are you, I mean, you think about it, you're only 8 matches in, but you're halfway through or whatever. But are you still, because you kind of hinted at it there, are you still kind of trying to find the right pieces, push the right buttons, those kind of things?
yeah, I still don't feel we've found our identity yet as a team,
Right.
and that's I could look at almost all the teams I've coached and be like, hey, here's when we arrived at our identity. Here's what our identity was, and we're still searching a little bit. It's um, yeah, it's mixed. It's not like we're playing horrible, like, but I think when you find that identity, like those are the things that you turn to when things aren't quite going well. And so, we got to strengthen that foundation. We're trying to, I think we're staying united, we're being resilient. Um, obviously last year's team fired up, played with such great contagious joy. Like we're quiet people by nature. Lowe is quiet, Kara McGee is is quiet. Campbell Soup doing awesome as a leader, but quiet. Emily, quiet. So you got maybe Marika that brings the enthusiasm. Yas brings the edge, but I think the coaches are having to bring the edge a little bit more, which is what's needed from us. And yeah, we're just not as sharp as we can be. We're dull in some areas of our game, our attitude, and approach. And so, with all that said, you win championships in April, so I'm not worried about peaking too early. You look at Wisconsin last year, who we beat, and they turned around and lost to Washington twice, who we also beat. But then, sure enough, they're playing for the national championship. So sometimes it just takes a little bit longer to arrive where you want to be at. And again, we missed all spring and preseason.
Right.
Was we didn't get non-conference games to look at lineups and work through things. So our season's half over, but in a regular year we'd have four we'd be 4 weeks in the conference and have more than a half left.
Right. You mentioned winning championships in April. Did that scheduling, knowing that championship is out there, has that changed anything of your approach week to week or just on these 16 matches?
Yes, but I think they're subliminal ones that I'm not aware of. I think I really wish our qualification would happen in the spring, so then fall's focus could be all about preparation,
Right.
prepare, get healthy, get strong, like add some wrinkles. Like you need to make mistakes in order to get better. So, if we want to run certain combinations of play, we want Yossi hitting from different areas. We want to get Lachey more often. You need to be battle tested in practice and matches to do that. You need to make mistakes to get better at it and give them the green light. Lauren's got a great jump serve. Like, can I get her in enough matches? We think about Katie's jump serve and yeah, she like jump served 7 in a row at Iowa State. I remember getting, early on, way back when we're getting one of our first wins there, but she had to miss against TC. She had to make a lot of errors in preseason and whatnot. And so, I don't want to give away wins because we're so high error trying to work on stuff that I know takes 2 to 3 months to develop. So that's the tricky part. So I think we're trying to survive the fall and then use the spring, January, February, March, that 2 to 3 to sharpen up some stuff and do it, and be in a position where working on those things, aren't going to cost us sets or, eventually matches. So it's a little hard. Yeah, it is different because it matters now.
Right.
I coached men for 10 years. And I loved it. It's way better than women training because you would just train. And then when you hit January, you knew, here's what we're doing. Here's our offense. Here's our defense. Here's our rotations. Here's our backup plans. And was good. But, we got freshmen that will help us, I think, in April. But I want to throw them in. And there's just that balance, like how much risk do you take to get them battle tested in September, October, when they need 2 to 3 months. So, and that's if they're not ready, then that almost hurts them a little bit, because then they're like not as successful right away out of the gate, and then that works. They struggle their confidence a little bit there too. So it's different.
This doesn't have to be for on the record. I'm just curious. Do you know yet if you're going to be able to play any in the spring before the tournament, or how is that still in the works? Or
I'm gonna make phone calls. I will be creative. Number 6 can go off. She's I forget her name right now, but the right side heavy cut hitter. They'll set her front row and back row. Their middles are very fast. This is probably the one other program in the Big 12 where I feel the speed in the middle, like they don't run it to the pins as much, but is complementary to ours in a way where it is disruptive. And, traditionally I feel like we've been a little slow to slow down their middles when they can pass and be in system. We've been able to serve well, not let their middles be a threat, but when they do get digs, they do well there. And then the other 2 pins they got heavy arms. They're, they can like Oklahoma and Texas Tech. You got to win that outside hitter battle. So if they swing hard and good things happen for them, then it turns into a long match. If our block cannot get tooled, I think we'll funnel the rest and convert them, and could be a shorter match.